Hello. Hello. Okay. Let's get on with the first thing. Okay. I don't know. Is Al in chat? He probably isn't. It's okay. We forgive him. All right. Let me turn down the music just one more. I have no idea how loud this is going to be because this is we're gonna have a talk. Okay. Can I full screen this? Okay. Last Thursday on Al's last Tuesday, sorry, on Al's Cyber Mentoring Monday stream, he said this.
Okay. Cookies are protected with XOR encryption. So why am I cringing, chat? Why am I cringing? Why am I cringing right now? No, I'm cringing because they called XOR encryption. XORing is not encryption.
Okay.
Oh god, what is this, Tiberius?
What this is, Al, is a XOR cipher. Or XOR, as the more the more civilized people say. So, I get where he's coming from. Cipher, no, a cipher is still encryption. See, it even says it, an encryption algorithm. It's encryption. Okay, I get where he's coming from. XOR isn't exactly encryption, right? It's technically XOR is a logic operation. Okay. However, XOR encryption is a thing, as you can see. But today, on this stream, I am going to perform a miracle. I am going to show you how, with just XOR, not only can we create a really strong encryption algorithm, we can create a theoretically unbreakable encryption algorithm. Magic. So, Al is kind of technically correct and technically incorrect at the same time. XOR on its own, not encryption, obviously, but XOR can be used in encryption. In fact, every single encryption algorithm that I know of, every famous one, every one that has a name, we're talking AES, right? We're not every non-public key, so not RSA, whatever. But every block cipher, stream cipher that has a name that I know of, so AES, right? I mean, AES is the big one. DES, triple DES. What else is there? Schneier's encryption. What is it? I bastardized his name. Bruce Schneier. Two fish and blowfish. Right. All of these use XOR. Why do they use XOR? They use XOR because, to quote Thanos, it is perfectly balanced. What does perfectly balanced mean? It means for every single combination of a 0 and 1 that you give XOR, there's a 50% chance that you'll get a 0 or 1 coming out. Right? So if you give it a 0 and a 0, you get a 0. If you give it a 0 and a 1, you get a 1. If you give it a 1 and a 0, you get a 1. And if you give it a 1 and a 1, you get a 0. What's important here is that there are 2 zeros here and 2 1s here. Every single combination of inputs produces exactly 2 of each outputs. Okay? So that's very important because obviously with encryption, you don't want anything to be predictable. Okay, and if you have an encryption cipher that say for 3 of these inputs outputs are 1, and for 1 outputs are 0, right? That's still usable, but because you've got more of a chance of getting a 1, it's not. It won't stand very well against cryptanalysis. Let's just say that. Okay, so. If we go down to here, yes, use and security. So yes. Al showed on stream, if you have an XOR cipher with the same key and you know the plain text, you can XOR the plain text with the encryption and get the key back. Yeah, okay, fine. That's okay. However, this part is what we're going to show today. If the key is random and is at least as long as the message, the XOR cipher is much more secure than when there is key repetition within a message. When the key stream is generated by a pseudo-random number generator, the result is a stream cipher. With a key that is truly random, the result is a one-time pad, which is unbreakable in theory. Okay. And that's the key here. XOR on its own is not a very good cipher, right? However, if you have a truly random key, if the key is as long as the message, and if you never use the same key twice, XOR ciphers are unbreakable, and we will show you that. So I have this CyberChef thing here. This is XOR. So what we have here is the input attack at dawn. Okay, this is a pretty honestly it's almost like a meme in cryptography. This is a very basic string used to demonstrate key attacks. So we're going to use, this is 14 letters long, 14 bytes long. We have a random key that I randomly generated that is also 14 bytes long. Okay, we put it in the XOR function. We're using UTF-8 just so we get basically, we're XORing each of these letters at a binary level with each of these letters, right? Oop. Why did I do that? So how it's going to work is it's going to take this A, it's going to convert it to its 8 binary digits. It's going to take this E, it's going to convert it to its 8 binary digits, and it's going to XOR them. All right? Bit by bit. And you get this lovely output, which is completely unreadable. If we do... we just drag a 2 hex here, you can see that it has actually, changed the bytes. It's unreadable because a lot of these start with a 0, 0, 4, 0, C, 0, E, blah, blah, blah. You get some 75, which are in the readable key space, so readable bytes of ASCII, but not many. Okay. And now if I go down to here, if I enable this step in the recipe, this is XOR with the exact same key. These keys are identical, and what happens? Well, we get attack at dawn. That makes sense, right? If you use the same key that you use to encrypt a message to decrypt it, you get the message back. However, by changing the key, now I have a message that says attack at dusk. If I change it again, now I have a message that says Alh4zr3d rocks. And there lies the problem. Because how do you break? How do you brute force an XOR cipher, right? How do you break an XOR cipher? If you don't know the key, and you have an encrypted message, and you know it's been XOR'd, but you only have one message, how do you break it? Anyone know? You only have one message that's encrypted. You don't know the key, but you know the encryption algorithm. What's the only way you can break it? Brute force. You try every single possible key until you get a message that looks like it would be valid. Right? That's how brute force attacks work on every encryption algorithm. They basically have you generate every possible key that you can. You perform the decrypt with the key. You look at the output. You say, does that look like it's structured? Does that look like it's English? You know, if it's in English, does that look like it's a specific file type? Does it have magic bytes of the file? Okay. That's when you know, okay, maybe that's the message. But, we have to keep going. Yeah? The problem with this encryption is, as I've just shown, if you're going through all possible 14 character keys, yeah, sure, you'll come across attack at dawn, this key. You'll also come across this one, attack at dusk. You'll also come across one that decrypts to Alh4zr3d rocks. In fact, you will come across a key that decrypts into every single 14 character ASCII message. Every single one, and I will prove it to you. Optional flag, reading my mind here. Chat, choose a 14 character phrase or thing. All right, 14 characters that you want this to decrypt to, and we will do it right now. First person to come up with 14 characters, we get to do your message. Try and make them ASCII. Spaces are fine. All right, we're going to do Tibs likes XOR. Okay. So how are we going to do this? Well, let's go to here. Tibs like XOR. Okay, we are going to enable this. So we've encrypted the message. So we have the encryption, right? This is all we're dealing with. I'm just going to convert the encrypted message into binary. Okay. Now I'm going to take this message and similarly get the binary outputs. So let's just open up a new GCHQ. What is wrong with you, CyberChef? There we go. Alright, so I'm going to paste this message in. We're just going to do to binary. Okay, copy this. Alright. So basically now all we're going to do is XOR these. Okay? So, XOR operation, you look at the two inputs. If they're the same, you put a 0. If they're different, you put a 1. So this is going to be 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. It's going to take a long time, but whatever. This is how I did it to make the other messages. 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Now this is computering, yeah. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Oops. 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. And come on. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. Finally, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. All right. We'll put this back into this. So we're going to do from binary now. Okay. And hopefully, unless I've messed anything up, let's just create a new XOR function. Let's put it down here. Set it into UTF-8. I need to turn off the binary one. And please work. Ah! I messed up one of them, but you can see how it almost worked. Okay, hang on. What did I mess up? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was the 7th byte. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Did I really mess it up? Or did it not copy correctly? Oh, I know why. Because it encrypted to a nasty byte there. These two are nasty. Okay. So you see how they're periods? They're not actually periods. So actually what we'll do, so this did work. I'm just going to do 2 hex. We'll do no. So I'm just going to take, these are hex encoded bytes now. Okay, so exactly the same string that we figured out. What I'm going to do here is, I think if I just put this in as hex, it should work. There we go. I did it right first time. I just copied bad bytes instead of periods. Okay? But, you know, when you're generating keys, you would come across this key, and you see this message, attack at dawn, encrypted using this key, decrypted using this key, which is displayed in hex. And we get Tibs likes XOR. You can get any, literally any message you want. Exactly, right. So this is the point. XOR ciphers. One-time pads. All right. They're impossible to decrypt or break, but the following 4 conditions must be met. The key must be at least as long as the plain text. The key must be random. The key must never be reused in whole or in part. And the key obviously must be kept completely secret. That one kind of is a given, right? But these 3, okay, this is also why XOR encryption one-time pads are practically useless, okay? Because this part. They're fine if you're encrypting small things, but imagine encrypting a file. If you're encrypting an image that's, you know, maybe, you know, several hundred kilobytes in size, you need a key that's several hundred kilobytes. Good luck key management. Also, the key must never be reused. Why must it not be reused? Well, if you get 2 XORed messages that use the same key, you can do the exact same trick as before. You can just XOR them both back together. Right? Does that make sense? And random, obviously, so you can't predict anything. Now, this one-time pad's really useful because what you could do, like like back in, I think, I forget which World War it was, but spies used to use one-time pads. What they would do, it's like a random. Can you like generate random letters using this? Pseudo random number generator. No, probably not. Okay, let's just randomly generate some random. There's got to be random.org. It's got to have strings, right? Strings? Generate 1 random string. Okay. 10 random strings. 20. We only want uppercase. Each string should be unique. Yep, get strings. Okay, good. All right. So, if you were a spy, I'm just going to remove all the new lines. You know, actually, no. I'm not going to remove all the new lines. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to actually put a new line in. Okay, if you were a spy, you would get a book. You would be given a book by the government, which had pages and pages and pages of this. Okay? Just random letters. You know? So every single page would have... Basically, every single character on the page would be random, and it would go on throughout the entire book. Okay? You would be issued one of these. Everyone would be issued one of these. They would all be different. Every single spy has a different book. But the government has an identical copy of each spy's book. So what do? Well, if a spy wants to send a message, let's just say they want to say hello. Right? Now we're at the start. This is the very first message. We're going to send hello, so we're going to use the first 5 characters. And we're going to just use, you know, screw it. Let's just use a Vigenere cipher. Right? Vigenere ciphers technically can be unbreakable if used like this. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take the first 5 bytes, first 5 letters. Where's the key? We're going to put the key here. And we're going to take our message, which was just hello. And we're going to encrypt it. What do we get? Yeah, we get this. Okay. So we get Alh4zr3d. The spy sends this to the government. The government says, okay, well, spy A, spy Tiberius, has sent us this message. Let's get spy Tiberius's codebook out. Now, it's the first message he's sent us, so that means he's used the first 5 letters. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go here. We'll put the ciphertext in. Okay, that's what he sent us. What are the 5 letters? Remember, the government has the same book as me. We'll know the passcode there. Decrypt. Oh, he sent hello. Right? That works. Now what happens? Well, now if I want to send another message, I just start where I left off. I don't reuse any of this. This is dead now. You don't reuse any of these. You start here. And because the government had the same book, assuming, and this is a big assuming, that every message is received okay, they know where to start. Okay? The other way of doing this, obviously, would be assuming that no spy is going to send more than 1,000 characters. And then each page would have 1,000 characters. And then all you would do is you would use your, you know, if you start a message, say this was 1 page, right? And I just wanted to send hello. You would just send the 5 bytes. And then the next time you wanted a message, you would turn to the next page. So there's various ways you could do it. But the fact is you never reuse any of the key. And because these are all randomly generated, you have the same thing. Even with the Vigenere cipher, you could technically change this key and change the message. Like, let's change the T to an S. Now help it has a P on the end, right? But this is the point. You could come up with a 5-letter key that decrypts to any 5-letter word. It's the same problem. And that is why XOR is unbreakable. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So, hopefully that's understandable to people. The only reason I wanted to do this was because I figured, you know, it was kind of funny because I was mocking him on stream a little bit. But at the same time, I think it's important that people understand. he was technically right and wrong, depending on the way you look at it, right? Yes, XOR isn't encryption, but XOR encryption is a thing, and XOR encryption is not necessarily weak, and is in fact potentially one of the strongest encryption algorithms in the world. It just requires a bunch of stuff. And that's why we don't use it, because it's practically impossible to use. Unless you do, crazy stuff like this. Right? So, yeah. That is why. And every stream cipher, by the way, tries to recreate a one-time pad. So obviously, when you give a key to a stream cipher, it doesn't just use that key and just repeat and repeat and repeat it. If the message, say you have a 32-bit key, right? You don't use, you don't just repeat the key every time you want to encrypt more than 32 bits. What you do is you have something called a key stream generator. So every stream cipher has a key stream generator. And what that does is it tries to, using the key as a source of randomness, tries to generate a random key stream. Okay? Which is good because that does protect against attacks where the key's been repeated. However, it's still bad because if you do know that initial setting, the initial key, you can generate the key stream. Wouldn't any encryption be that strong if you put that much effort into it? Not necessarily. Well, I guess technically yes then. But the point is, this is what you need. This is what you need for a perfect cipher. This is the simplest you can get for a perfect cipher. And really, these 3 bits are fine, right? At a push, you could do all this. This is really the kicker. Because if the key has to be as long as the plain text, you're really restricted in what you can encrypt, right? Consider the fact that HTTPS uses encryption, and HTTPS also sends videos over the internet, right? And if you're downloading, if you're watching a movie on Netflix that's several gigs in size, even if you separated that out, right, into different packets, you would have to firstly have a key that was as long as the packet. It would have to be random, and you can't reuse it. So every single packet has to have a different key, which is just, it's impossible. It's practically impossible because it just doesn't work. So you basically have a problem with keys, and that's pretty much, honestly, everything with ciphers comes down to key management in the end. Oh, here we go. That was exactly what I was talking about, and I didn't even realize it. Oops. Format of a one-time pad used by the U.S. National Security Agency, codename Diana. Table on the right is aid for converting between plain text and ciphertext using the characters left as a key. There you go. I literally didn't even see that. So, I mean, exactly what almost exactly what I put here. So this basically, this has an L as the first letter. And say you're encrypting an H like we were before, you go to the H, you go all the way along to L, and it looks like it says, what's that, an H? I can't even read it. Maybe L is encrypt to H. Cool. All right. So thank you so much. On the screen of my socials, please follow me on Twitter, join my Discord server, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course, you're watching me on Twitch right now, but if you haven't followed, please give me a follow. I will see you likely next week.